Hello, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Magic the Gathering news video. Now, earlier today I posted a video about the new Unset, so you guys should check that out if you haven't seen it. It's really awesome. So, what else did they announce today? Well, they also announced some more information about Game Nights 2019. Now, for those of you who don't know, Game Nights is a product that is basically a 5, one for each color, decks that go in this weird little case thing, and it's meant to feel like a board game you can just pull out, and it's supposed to be balanced against each other, all the decks. And it's built of both current standard cards and reprints from the past that are meant to, specifically be in those decks, and then each deck has one card that is newly printed. And if that doesn't excite you, well, we can take a look at these new cards because they will be legal, I believe, in Vintage and Commander. I'm not sure about Vintage. I know Commander. They did say that for a fact. So take a look at these with the idea of Commander in mind as well, not just useless card that's only in, this. Also, yeah, this product didn't seem to do too well last year, but they are bringing it back again. It was kind of expensive for what you got, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes this year. Alrighty, so we have, so they talked about this on Weekly MTG, but then didn't post anything about it on Daily MTG, which is their, news article source, and Weekly MTG is their stream. They announced stuff like this, but they didn't they didn't post anything on it, so I'm sure a lot of people don't know about this, so I thought it'd be interesting to go over it. Now, of course, because they didn't post an article about it, I had nothing to show you guys, so what I did is I took all the information they put together, and I put it on my website. I'll leave a link down to this article down below. They didn't announce that much. I mean, they did, but you'll see. Okay, so there's gonna be five decks, one for each color, and this will be like the big finisher card for each of them. We'll go over those cards here in a second. But a couple things to note. Half the cards in the deck will be Core Set 2020, and half of them will be reprinted from the past. Now, it can go all the way back to like Origins and further than that. That was just one example. So it will go back in the past, and if it is printed in Core Set 2020, it'll have that logo, so there'll be no difference. However, if it's reprinted, it will not have the logo of the original set, but instead it'll have this little logo right here. So the cards that are printed here are not standard legal. They will not be on MTG Arena, and there will not be codes for MTG Arena. Boom, got that out of the way. So why don't we take a look at the cards? So first we have Highcliff Felidar. Again, these are supposed to be the finishers because they're expensive. It's a 7-cost 5/5 with Vigilance. That's okay. It's a cat beast, and when it enters the battlefield for each opponent, and this is often a theme, at least it was last year, was that for each opponent you have, it does something, so the more opponents you have, the more powerful the card is. But so for each opponent, choose a creature with the greatest power among that creature, destroy those creatures. So this is meant to be kind of a board wipe, and it doesn't kill anything of yours. So it'll basically enter the battlefield and kill the biggest threats on everyone's board. I normally am against board wipes that only hit certain things. However, this is kind of nice for the fact that it's most likely going to be their best thing. Now, there could be a lesser power creature that just offers more value or has double strike or something, and this won't kill that, but it is an interesting card. It's not super, fun, though. Like, it's not a fun mechanic. It's just kill some stuff. Let's move on to the next one. Sphinx of Enlightenment. It's a 6-cost 5/5 flying Sphinx, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent draws a card, and you draw 3. Yes, because that is such a finisher. It's a 5/5 with flying, so that's not bad. That can kind of be a finisher. But the ability is kind of lame, and you must force an opponent to draw a card. Not super big on this card either. This next card, though, I do like. It's the best out of the 3 I've read so far. It's Calculating Lich. It's a 6-cost creature zombie wizard 5/5 with Menace. So they're each 5/5s with a certain keyword. So this one's Menace. And whenever a creature attacks one of your opponents, that player loses 1 life. So, not just your creature. So, say you're in a 5-player game, you're the black player, say the red player attacks the blue player, well then, for every creature the red player attacks with, that player loses 1 life. Not the person who's attacking, the person who is being attacked. So, that really speeds up the game. That is a finisher, in my opinion. And a 5/5 with Menace is pretty crazy. Then we have Fiendish Duo, which is another fun card. This one I think is actually kind of fun. It's kind of basic, but it's fun. It's a 5/5 first strike, and if a source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that damage out instead, and so that includes instants and sorceries and basically anything that deals damage. It deals double, so he technically, if he gets through, deals 10 damage to your opponent. That is crazy. That's the one I think that could make the biggest splash in something like Commander. There are decks that run similar cards that just double all damage, and I think this could see a home there. I don't think it's going to be seen in a lot of decks, but I do think it'll find at least a couple. Next, we have Earthshaker Giant. It's 6 cost trample, and this one's actually a 6/6 because it's green, and of course it is. Otherwise, that'd be way underrated. And when it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, I don't know if that. I think there are spells that can do that for much cheaper, and sure, you don't get a 6/6 trampler with it, but you don't even get to attack with the creature that turn, and so you're like, here, I'm going to do my big attack right now, and I'm going to play this creature. But wait a second, now I don't even get to use this big creature. I might as well have just had a spell that did that. So I'm not a big fan of that card. I think my two favorite cards are the black and the red one. The red one's, I think, on the top, and then black. They actually are cards that threaten to win the game for you, versus the other ones generate a little bit of value. A different from the 2018 edition is if you bought that or know about it, these ones will only be available in foil. So some people will like that, some people will not due to it affecting card durability. Then let me talk about what's included. There are 5 60-card decks, 5 spin-down life counters, 5 life counter platforms, which are kind of pointless pieces of cardboard that you can put your dice on if you're like on a carpet. So I guess it's not completely pointless. 20 +1/+1 counters. These are like punch-out little things. They are better quality than things in like Amonkhet boosters. But yeah. And then there's 15 double-sided tokens, 5 rules reference cards, and 1 rule book. So same thing that was in last year. Not too much new here, except for obviously knowing what these cards are. And then some more information. The decks are meant to be gimmicky now. This was interesting to hear them explain. The idea here is that, obviously, the decks are made up of 2 parts. 1 part Core Set 2020 and 1 part reprints. And so you could take the Core Set 2020 blue cards and mix that with the black reprint cards, and that's supposed to work. Now, they didn't explain if any half can combine with any other half, or if they're specifically meaning that M20 cards go with the opposite, reprint cards. They said that they were designed to do that, and it was meant to provide a fun experience. So, that's another thing that's similar to the Unset. Again, you guys should check that out. And then it'll be released November 15th. So that's a lot of news to talk about, and there is even more that was announced today. We actually have, I believe, 2 more important pieces of information that were brought up there, and there will be a video going out about that probably tomorrow. So if you guys want to stay up to date, you know what? Why am I even doing this? I'm sorry. I'll just announce. The one thing is really small, so it probably won't get a video. It is the release dates for the next 2 sets. The Theros Beyond Death is the pre-release is January 19th through 17th through the 19th, and the release is on January 24th. And then Ikoria, they were correcting people on how to say that. Ikoria will be released, pre-released April 17th through the 19th, and released April 24th. So those are exactly 3 months apart. So yeah, those are going to be exciting. We already got the dates for those, and that's cool. Again, these were all announced on Weekly MTG. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.